What's up, you guys? It's Boomo. I'm here to talk about my journey of working 6 years straight, working on Sundays. Sundays are a day for different people. Sometimes it means family time, going to church, de-stressing throughout the week. I've been working it for 6 years, mainly for myself doing sales. It has really completely changed my business just because I always started my week on a Sunday while everyone was starting their week on a Monday. And it wasn't really by choice at first. Mainly it was because I needed a income to create it and maintain the life or exceed the lifestyle that I wanted to have. You know, there's this whole notion if should you be working on the weekends. I guess it just depends on like the goal and where you want to reach and what industry you belong in with. I specifically belong to the B2C market. So you're basically talking to the average everyday customer. So they'll be working to 9 to 5, or there'll be people working at home, retirees. You're just basically speaking to the average household in a sense, right? The weekends has really changed my life. I also work on holidays, excluding like Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, where it's more of a family focused and people are not really focusing on their attention on any business obligations that they have when it comes to themselves, right? I did it because, like I said, is to create an income. What it allowed me to do is create 2 extra days within my week. Going back to B2C, people usually work to 9 to 5, so they'll be available during the evenings, usually around like 6 o'clock all the way till 7:30 or 8 o'clock, depending on like how dark it is and if they're eating dinner and whatnot. The most maximum time or productivity is going to come to the evenings. I worked on Sunday just so I can get 2 days back, which basically means 10:30 all the way to 2 o'clock, grabbing some lunch, working back the clock at 3:30 all the way to 5:30 to 6 o'clock in a sense. And I always work on a Saturday as well. That's like considered my Monday. When you are working 6 days a week, just like myself, I tend to just take 1 day off just because I want to be in that rhythm, momentum the whole time. For me is working the hours. You know, people always talk about work smart, not hard, but I think as you reach a certain level, it's about working smart and hard at the same time so you can really maximize the time and the potential that you have available. When you shift your mind towards that, now it's becoming going autopilot and doing the things that you've been doing. I specifically work in the door-to-door industry. So when it comes to the interactions, you know, people are most available on the weekends will be the morning time. And if they have some errands they gotta run, they usually run in the afternoons doing that. So my whole philosophy is catch the people in the morning time when they are awake, doing some yard work that's still at home. And supposedly if there are people do that in the mornings, like doing their obligations or errands that they gotta run to the grocery store, post office, meeting family, then I'll try to catch them in the afternoon or evenings. That's whole my mindset is. Able to increase your odds. If you able to do that, like since there's 52 weeks out of the year, if you do 50 weeks out of it or 49 weeks, 48 weeks, you're pretty much getting almost an extra 100 days back to yourself, because I always say Sundays give you 2 days back. And working on a Saturday, doing another shift, like I said, from 10 o'clock all the way to 6, making our break. Now I just got 4 days back by just working on the weekends. It's always about maximizing your time because your time is very limited. If you are able to do that, you'll be very surprised like how much things stack up taking 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days at a time. It's going to be really hard at first, especially if you're new in the industry, going to B2C, and you have to make sacrifices and you'll be turning down a lot of family time, friend events, anniversaries, birthdays, gatherings in a sense, right? What I realize as you get to level up, there's a certain point that you have to maintain it and exceed where you used to be at the same time. It's all about consistency, because as I decided to keep on working on a Sunday because I don't have to, is mainly because I just want to crush the competition. I knew my competitors weren't working on the Sundays, were resting, taking the day off with family, drinking, watching sports. While there's customers who do that as well, but some of them are at home at the same time, potentially looking into my service. I talk about, and most people talk about, the importance of success is showing up, just showing up. It's like going to the gym. You already have your workout gear. You already in 5 minutes of your workout, and you're not going to leave after 5 minutes. After getting a couple pumps, sets in, you want to finish what you started. I'm not really in the mood or excited to work on a Sunday in a sense. It's just more like autopilot that I have to do it no matter what. And I think people negotiate their feelings a lot. I think when it comes to consistency, they really dictate based on how they feel. They had a bad week or a bad incident happen, so they dwell into that feeling and don't want to go to work because they don't want to reflect that feeling or negative mindset into the work. There's people who will have a great week, great month, great day that they're like, you know what, I want to keep this mood and not go to work and ruin the day in a sense. Or people will say, I had a very consistent week and a decent outcome, decent amount of hours and days that I should reward myself and break the rule of working 5 days or 4 days, 3 days that week instead of keeping them what made them successful by working in a committed schedule. I really don't negotiate the day and the time when I should work. When I am feeling crappy, not feeling the greatest, or getting heartbroken, or even have a good week, or feeling like I deserve better, I still go at it no matter what. And I think that's what kept me so successful on my Sundays and catapulted my week and my month, is because I just took those 4 days or 5 days out of the week, depending on how it's aligned to the calendar, and just attack it. You'll be so surprised like how many people will say, you know what, me and my spouse, we have opposite schedules. The only time we'll be available will be on a Sunday. Those little wiggle room of opportunity, because sometimes you just need that little space and gap in order for you to really maximize your sale or maximize your pipeline and potential when it comes to your outcomes and results in the business, right? And if people could really hone in the little momentums that they get on because my Sundays are the beginning of the week, it's not a rest week, just because I know the amount of availability and potential it has. If you can really reach the success and really hone into it, double your days and keep that at a very consistent frame, because I've been doing it for 4 years. That's about 400 extra days that I get, or an extra year, by just outworking the competition, really separating myself. Because if there's someone who doesn't work on a Sunday and only do 6 days, and Saturdays are the only times they work double shifts, I'm getting a gap that they don't have. Let's say the gap that they are here is how much time and input they put in a year. I'm a little bit right here. And now if we compound that in a 2, 3, 4 year frame where someone is steadily growing, I'm exponential growing. And that's what I mean by working smart and hard at the same time. And then I think is working on Sunday is not for everyone, just because they really value their family, they really value the church, they really value their friends and family friends and other extracurricular activities that they get. It means a lot to them. But if you're that type of person who enjoys the work, is a competitor, and just want to deepen your craft, because some people really enjoy being in business, enjoy doing the work, honing their skill and keeping going at it. The go-getters, the Mamba mentality, the 1%, or people that just want to separate themselves from the crowd. There's no other good feeling knowing that you're someone who are trying to separate themselves, because no one wants to be just another number or another crowd within that percentage of the industry. And I think that's what made me successful, is that, it took me about 3.5 years to really go in a very consistent flow, regardless of what happened the previous night, previous week, that I keep on going at it. Once you reach a certain level and work very hard, because the next level is going to be just out sacrificing. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to no longer put in your life? What are you willing to say no and not even negotiate it? I can't tell you how many times, like friend events that I missed, birthdays, anniversaries, and people coming at me saying, let's meet up. It's been quite a while since we haven't seen each other. Those friend times that I get is really, really fun and really valuable for me. The brotherhood and the amount of joy that I get. But at the same time, it's usually the same thing, the same conversation. It's just a different day. And when I really look back at it, I ask myself, is it really worth every single week to talk about the same thing, talk about the same joy, and something that doesn't really change drastically the conversation? I would meet my friends on a monthly basis, and I figure out that I still get the same joy and same appreciation and bond that we still have, because you get to figure out who your true friends and true circles of people are. If they really know you and they really cherish the relationship, they will respect the work and the time that you put in on the weekends and the Sundays that you have. Because sometimes you just gotta be really selfish on achieving the goals and the wants that you have in life. No one's gonna do it for you, and I think it's a big mistake to please everyone in life, considering that you can't rescue everyone or please everyone in life. You can rescue certain people and you can please a certain amount of people in this very finite world, in a sense. The goals that I want to reach is pretty simple. Like, I want to be someone who want to help the next person in line. My past, I think I struggled so much. It took me when I was 29 to be finally considered my official first success. I've been trying to reach it ever since I was 18. Went through so many failures, and really my success comes from the people in front of me that encouraged me, told me that I was enough, letting me know not be apologetic on who I want to be and who I am. And that's what I mean by having true, real people around you who will respect the dedication and the sacrifices you're willing to make on the weekends and the Sundays. I would say just make it really clear that you have that goal and let them know that you want to work or you have work and willing to say the no. Like having those hard conversations. And if you do happen to see them, meet them again, give them a little gift. Obviously, if you're working, you're trying to earn a certain level or type of income in order to show their appreciation that you still care about them. I think that's a good gesture to have for your etiquette as well. They'll get to know that you actually still care. And being selfish is not really a bad thing. It's really about loving yourself and putting yourself first compared to anyone else. Really finding the best version of yourself and reaching heights that you've never been before, as these amount of times, amount of input that you put compounds and give you the results. Don't get too impatient, because it took me about 2 years to get good at the skill that I have right now. In the third year, I reached the level that I want. In my fourth year, where I'm currently going now, I'm just like exponentially growing and reaching heights that I haven't been before. And that's by just consistently doing. And it all starts with the rituals, doing the consistent same exact thing all the time. I've been going to the gym the past 2 months, 6 days straight, eating plenty amount of vegetables and fruit. I'm on a ketogenic diet the past 5 months, but I really took my veg intakes to the next level the past 2 months. Putting smoothie, I'm putting on a blender, with water, grabbing 2 cups of spinach, 2 cups of kale, and a cup of red berries, blueberries, just so I don't take a high sugar intake. I've been doing that in a very consistent basis, just so my mood, no matter what, my nutrition's on point, my hydration's on point, my mind's on point, and when I work, like my work is on point. Took about 3.5 years to find a routine that I finally enjoy. As the years goes on, you're gonna find things that you should tweak outside your work that's gonna affect your work within, like the diet, the working out, the physical attributes, then the mental attributes of consuming content, and really getting obsessed of your craft and saying no to the drinking, saying no to the bad food and the crowd that really don't give you within like a consistent value if you're focusing within a business or an outcome when it comes to your life. When you can say no and say yes to the things that are good for your life, but you have to do it on a very consistent basis on a very long time, and a lot of your competition is just gonna fall off. It's so crazy how much 2 years, 3 years will do, and people fall off, go to different companies, relationships broke, people no longer being in town and moving to a different city or a different country for a job or getting married. The thing is, I'm so happy and comfortable with the space and the time that I have that I don't really have much room for anyone else to do it. And I've been searching this for probably the longest time in my life. I'm someone who came in very humble beginnings and not much, but always searching for the greater good. When it comes to working on Sundays, like the negative aspects that I had, like going out, having friends that were meaningful, but going for drinks that cost $100, or throughout the night eating meals that are not great, but eating it just to the intoxication feeling that I have, and watching games that are 2-3 hours long, the sports games that don't really increase my happiness. I just get entertained for that long, and the next game already starting the next day or the next week. And you get to realize, if you put in that perspective and putting yourself first, I think that's going to change a lot of things in your life. And I just want to let people know, if you're working on a Sunday or a weekend on a holiday, like Labor Day, Martin Luther King, Veterans Day, Cinco de Mayo, and so on and so forth, those days, that you're not alone. There's people that want to get better, that people that want to put themselves first, reach different heights, and continue doing the thing that they love, which is putting work. And for some people, they might not understand just because they put a limit and imagery of what their life should be or what's considered the norm. Just live your life the fullest on what you want to accomplish and squeeze out every single time and potential that you have. So when you meet your 65-year-old, that you can look at yourself and say you squeeze out every potential and put as much time and effort, so you meet your future self and say thank you and you've done a great job. And knowing that you're not alone, because there's a ton of people, and I want people in the comment below share if you guys work on the holidays, on the weekends, even though it's not required, but you do it because that's something you want to do. Hope that guys help. I'll see you guys in the next video, and enjoy working on those Sundays and holidays. You're not alone.